Notice I don't have much commentary. It's because I really don't need to. It's a lot going on in here. Like, and it's pissing me off because you are looking at all of this fall down. And it's heartbreaking. It's actually making me want to find Sly Stone and smack him in the mouth. But when you smoke PCP like this, there's nowhere to go. Left, right, up, down. It's just you stay right there forever. Right there. There. Hello there, love bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and tip your favorite narrator via Cash App at $NAROB on YouTube. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below in the description bar and or the join button right here on the YouTube. All paying members, we're going to push through the rest of this Sly Stone book. Not because I don't think it's good. I just want to push through it so that I can start another book before the end of this month. So the paying members, look out either here on the community tab or over there on the Patreon, wherever it is you pay your monthly fees, because I need you all to vote soon for what the next book is. This is for the paying members. Now, all right, let's continue reading. Thank you for letting me be myself again. The cars were parked downstairs at the hotel in the afternoon to take us to the arena. We loaded in, but we weren't moving. Let's go, I said. We couldn't. Larry wasn't there. Bubba called up Larry and told him we were waiting, but Larry said he wasn't ready, that we should go ahead without him and send one of the cars back. Bubba didn't like that shit one bit. He went up to talk to Larry, but Larry's guy answered the door with the same message as before, not ready. Go ahead. Bubba kept the car back, but made sure that he was in it too, so Larry would see the consequence. During the show and even after it, Bubba had Larry in mind. He couldn't get him out of the mind. He went to Ken to talk about the problem, named Larry. Ken suggested that whatever needed to happen also needed to wait until we got back to LA and did the benefit show. Bubba agreed, and we flew back on an overnight flight. I wasn't awake, so they put me in a chair and carried it down like they were moving furniture. Back west, there was smoke and a little fire, and when it cleared, things were different. There are so many stories about that time, that Bubba and Larry were set against each other in angry ways, that Bubba's second black met us at the airport with a piece because he heard Larry's guy had a piece, or maybe Larry had a guy come carrying because he heard that black was. All I can say is that I never saw any of that. Okay, pause, just in case you're a little confused about Bubba's second black. In this entourage full of sisters, brothers, white folks, black folks, afros, perms, blonde hair, blue eyes, baboons, dogs, there are two gentlemen named Black. All I can say is that I never saw any of that. What I did see was the space between them and the angry waves rolling in the space. But first, the show. KROQ was at the time a new FM station. They wanted to make a splash in the LA market, so they were putting on a big event at the Coliseum to support free clinics packed with all the top acts they could find. Stevie Wonder, Chuck Berry, the Bee Gees, Sha-na-na, Mott the Hoople, the Raspberries, the Four Seasons, the Eagles, Ultimate Rock, they called it. The show was bigger than big. It was too big, for starters. KROQ had overbooked talent and couldn't fully pay bands. When we finally got out there, I had to fight the Coliseum staff over lights that were too bright, and something was messed up with the equipment. Nothing worked or sounded right. Not the organ, not the monitors. I couldn't get what I needed out of any of it. So I played a song or two and shut it down. Tired, demoralized, the band and the crew went back to the Hotel Cavalier in Hollywood where we were staying. Joe Hicks was there with us, being his usual laughy self, always with the ha-ha. Talk turned to the show and then the organ. I got more and more angry and finally decided to do something about it. Moose, who ran the equipment, was sleeping upstairs. I went to his room and woke him up. I yelled and screamed some more, and then I told Eddie Chin to take care of it. Meanwhile, the tension kept tightening. There were rumors flying everywhere that night that threatening calls had been made, that people had looked into putting contracts out on each other. Maybe someone from Larry's camp putting one out on me. Maybe someone from my camp putting one out on Larry in return. If you notice I don't have much commentary, it's because I really don't need to. It's a lot going on in here. And it's pissing me off because you are looking at all of this fall down. And it's heartbreaking. It's actually making me want to find Sly Stone and smack him in the mouth. But when you smoke PCP like this, there's nowhere to go. Left, right, up, down. It's just you stay right there forever. Right there. There. That people had looked into putting contracts out on each other. Maybe someone from Larry's camp putting one out on me. Maybe someone from my camp putting one out on Larry in return. That because of all of that, Larry had to check underneath his car before he drove it. I didn't know anything about that at the time, and I feel bad that anyone ever had to think about things like that. At the hotel, Larry was upstairs with his guys and Patrice when he got word they were planning on coming down and causing trouble. Bubba and Eddie had no problem with trouble. So, like I said previously, it's a whole lot going on in this part of the book. We're seeing how the Larry Graham and Sly Stone feud erupted. Even though Sly Stone is so freaking high, he don't know what the hell is going on. He half in, half out. All he know is what maybe he saw pieces of and what people told him later. From what I gather, from what he's talking about, because it's obvious that he's not there. You know, that's the baby with his Boinky Boink toy. They had a show. The show went bad. They're back at the hotel. There's already tension going on because Sly Stone is upset because the sound wasn't right, and you know how them Pisces are. They be sensitive about their shit, especially when they're artists, right? It sounds like it's just a black cloud hovering over the family Stone. And now you have all this paranoia going on with people that get high. You know how bad paranoia could be with booger sugar addicts? It's just a hot mess right now. It really is. Look at Lulu. He want to hide. He like, I don't want to be bothered with this crazy dog. Bubba and Eddie had no problem with trouble. They went into the stairwell to make sure that nothing happened, but something did happen. Larry's guys came down, saw Eddie and Bubba, and then it all erupted. Bubba went after Larry's guys, cracked a hand on a head. Larry's guys fought back even though they were getting the worst of it. In the middle of the mayhem, Larry somehow slipped away. Pat Rizzo says that he got a call from Larry, panicked at the Cavalier. Pat went over and drove Larry and Patrice away. Pat says that Larry shoved some tapes in a bag and went. Songs that he and Patrice were working on for their new project. And that was that for Larry in the band. I don't blame him for leaving either. You don't know everything about a person's attitude and aspects. Just because someone has been in the same place for a long time doesn't mean that they should be there longer. There are times to stay and times to move.
You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done.
The group didn't break up when Larry went, but we broke down some. How could we go forward without a bassist? Freddie had his eyes on Rusty Allen, a young player who was working with Little Sister, a cool cat, afro and sunglasses. I met a white guy in New York who had style. And then one night I was out with Bubba to see Eddie Kendricks sing at a club somewhere in San Francisco. We went in and saw Larry. He was sitting down with a girl. That's not the end of the story, us seeing Larry. Larry turned and saw us. That's not the end of the story either. He took her hand and hit the door quick. Bubba and I stayed and saw Eddie's show. His bass player was named Warnell Jones. He was from D.C., had been in the Young Senators, had joined up with Eddie for a record, the one that included the hit Girl, You Need a Change of Mind. He could really play. That's him, I said to Bubba. That's the one. Bubba couldn't connect with Warnell that night, but he drove out to Los Angeles to their next show and approached him at the break. Before the show was over, the two of them were in the car coming back to California. Warnell went into the running to replace Larry. As it turned out, he sounded too similar, and I couldn't hear the sense in that. The white kid didn't work out. Rusty ended up being the guy. We were making our next record, fresh, like fresh fruit. Something new from the shelves. Larry was already on a song or two, but we freshened up with Rusty and went forward. Back Up for Love. Jerry Brandt, who had started the Electric Circus, closed it down in 1971 and became known for throwing the best parties. He hosted the best faces in the best places. In Los Angeles in spring at a Jerry Brandt party, I saw Kathy Silver. So if you don't know, Kathy Silver is Silva is the young lady who he ended up marrying. He ended up dogging her later too, but he married her over there at the Madison Square Garden, okay? You know, she all mixed thing. You know, he partial to the mix. I think she was Hawaiian. And you know, they are a beautiful mix of cultures and ethnicities and races. Fresh came out at the start of summer. If Riot was dark, this album was light, almost blindingly so. The success of Riot meant that people were happy listening to my music, that they were rewarded by it, and that was the richest feeling I could imagine. Hey Sarah Sarah was a gift to Doris Day, Terry Melcher's mother. For years, people spread rumors that I dated her. I would never have done a thing like that. She was a nice lady, polite to me whenever I saw her, and a good singer. Terry played her original version for me one day, and right away I could hear how it could sound. It was like the covers we did back at Winchester Cathedral. Take something old, make it new. We made it new. We slowed it down. We thickened it up. We stayed loose. Rose messed up in the second verse. So what? An era is only something you do that others don't. I have no idea what Doris thought about it. I never played it for her. Do I think that Sly Stone hunched that lady? I don't know. Because it's something about what he said in one of the interviews. It was basically like, nah, I'm not about to touch that. Because that's one of the whitest women in the entire white world. And I don't want no piece of the black African Americans being mad at me because I done hunched on some white lady with blue eyes. I don't know it. But that's the whitest white lady in the entire white world. And he kind of had that same sentiment with Dean Martin's daughter. He just didn't want that smoke. So I think I might believe him. Fresh was released during Strange Days for the label. That year, Columbia dropped a number of major jazz artists. Charles Mingus, Bill Evans, Keith Jarrett, Arnett Coleman. The fault went to Miles, maybe, and then maybe to me. It was the in-time problem. Miles had been turned around by the kind of music we were making, and the musicians who went in the same direction as him used us as a compass also. Herbie Hancock named a song for me on his Headhunters album that year. Anything else got tossed like old food. Clive Davis got tossed from Columbia at the same time. They alleged that he had liberated $100,000 from the company. Liberated. The wording, child. His verbiage, child. Clive Davis got tossed from the company at the same time. They alleged that he had liberated $100,000 from the company, claiming it was for expenses when it was going to other things. Renovating his Manhattan pad, renting a summer place in Beverly Hills, paying for his son's bar mitzvah. I didn't attend. I was buying shiz left and right myself, including too many cars. At one point, there were 13, a lucky number as far as I was concerned, all carrying insurance so I could take them out on the road. I loved them all. You could look at a car and get a feeling. I had a special place in my heart for my Jaguar and more places for my Cord and my Mercedes 600 limo with 3 doors that I sat in while Teru drove me around. They were garaged, kept safe and sound. Cars weren't just for me. I bought my dad a Cadillac every year or every other year at least. It went on like that for a while, maybe 10 years. The reason I bought him one was simple. He didn't need to. One afternoon, Eddie James came over. Y'all, this is the Eddie James saga.